Live at Hy-Vee today. Come on by 4 to 6. Got a lot of great deals, and we're going to break those down for you here on Rock Talk Sports. The rest of this show with Dan
That's all we're
Courtwright.
doing, by the way. No
I'm Sean
sports talk,
Kellerman.
just
Just Hy-Vee.
talking about the deals.
Just Hy-Vee. Yeah, $7 grab and go
Mm.
pizza, Italian Mia. They're delicious. $8 chicken enchilada and Spanish rice as well. So come on by, say hey. We got some stuff we're giving away, some Kansas Nation glasses, some ESPN shirts as well. So come say hey to us here at Hy-Vee. KansasNation.com. Dan, exciting show today. Talking about another football game, right? We're done talking Cincinnati. We got to move on,
Yes.
move away from that. And now we're going to focus on the UCF game down in Orlando. First road conference game for KU. KU 3-2, 1-1 so far this season. UCF 3-1 and 0-1 in Big 12 play.
I'm also going to consider this the first real road test. I guess not road test, but real road game, right? Because the Columbia game, you went to Columbia, but that's only a 3-hour drive. This one, they actually had to get on a flight and go down there a couple days early, and they're down.
From a road trip experience.
From a road trip experience standpoint. Yeah, I'm not going to say first road test, but first true road game where they kind of have to get into those, just routines.
Yeah,
it throws a wrench into the regular game day routine. So it'll be interesting to see how Kansas deals with that. I mean, especially this late in the season, right?
Knights have a question at quarterback, a lot of questions at quarterback. We don't know who's going to play. We have an idea of that, and we'll get into that here as the show rolls on. But KU viewed by the prognosticators as a favorite in this game ever so slightly. It's Big 12 football, probably going to come down to the last possession. We're used to that, but it all starts 6:30 tomorrow. You can hear it, of course, on the Jayhawk Radio Network beginning at 5 with the Crimson and Blue Show. NFL game picks. We're going to do next segment. We'll see if Dan can improve on what happened last night. Thursday Night Football, by the way. Christian McCaffrey, free money, anytime touchdown.
Anytime.
I haven't told
That's
you.
right.
How about that?
Yeah.
Niners covered also. Terrible read by you. I think you liked the Rams covered.
I did. I thought the Rams were going to absolutely kill them.
At no point was that even in the game.
No.
Yeah.
Went to overtime though, so it was good for the over.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
I had the over. That's
true.
all that matters. I'm okay with that.
Missed PAT, right? And
yes.
then back-to-back field goals. So how about that? Count your blessings on that. And then after NFL game picks, we are going to be joined by a special guest. Had to pre-record him a little bit earlier in the week, but from Knights 24/7, it's Andrew Cherico. The Walls of Cherico.
The Walls of Cherico.
He's an insider for Knights 24/7. As I said, he'll give us some intel on UCF. This is something that we're trying to do more often. We did a couple months back and certainly last season, but now here on our Rock Chalk Sports Show on KansasNation.com, reach out to our opposing team connections and do a little behind enemy lines type segment.
That's right.
And get some insights. Love hearing from Henry Greenstein, Brian Haney, all those guys. But certainly, in addition to that, we love hearing from some guys who cover the other teams.
Plus, stay tuned because he'll give you some food spots. If you're going down to Orlando, if you're making the trip down to the Bounce House, be sure to listen to what Cherico has to say. Gave us a couple of good burger spots, some wing spots. I mean, Orlando's not really known for anything other than like their Mickey Mouse shaped funnel cakes.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's he gave us some good recommendations.
Mickey Mouse anything, pretty much is what I think of when I think of Orlando. But yeah, big thanks to Andrew Cherico joining the show. Again, that'll be a little bit later. 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sports stock market will take you around the world of sports. Stocks up, stocks down on who Taylor Swift makes an appearance. I know you're excited for that.
That's right. Did you listen to any of it?
I have not, but I do know that she released her album today. So,
she did.
So good on her. Future Mrs. Kelsey. I think she'll make a few bucks for that. Probably.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Also, there's no way she's not going to change her name to Kelsey.
She can't. I don't
Taylor
think
Kelsey. I mean, no,
it's
Taylor.
I mean, maybe legally, but yeah, no, that's not. That's
no,
not.
I don't think legally. She's probably just going to keep the Swift. You have to
keep the Swift.
There's a 100% chance she does not have Kelsey in her name ever.
All right. Hey, 100 seems high, but it's higher than 70. I know that much.
She's the most famous person in the world. She's not going to go from Taylor Swift to Taylor Kelsey.
Yeah, well, I have to join Henry in this and give it 70% chance that she stays with Swift. Bottom of the 5 o'clock hour, we'll talk KU soccer. Dillon Sunflower Showdown blowout last night at Rock Chalk Park in front of over 2,400 fans. Good on KU soccer getting back in the win column after a couple tough matches against TCU and Baylor. Then we're going to go through NFL game picks, or rather, we're going to hear from Enrique Cruz, KU's offensive linemen after doing game picks in the 4 o'clock hour. Enrique Cruz, a guy who's kind of taken hold of that right tackle spot. KU had to replace both tackles, something we haven't talked about a ton, but from last season with losing both Bryce Cabledew and Logan Brown to the NFL. And Cruz has stepped in and he's kind of won that battle with Nolan Gorsica. Get his thoughts on where the offensive line is, KU is as a whole, a little bit later in the 5 o'clock hour. And then at the end of the 5 o'clock hour, we'll talk KU volleyball. they've got an opportunity. They've got some recognition and some college football game picks as well. So let's talk UCF, Dan, real quick in the opening segment. Loss to K-State over the weekend. Victories over Jacksonville State. Not a terrible program by any stretch, but 17-10, not something that's going to impress a lot of people over a group of 5 team. But I got him to 1-0. Scott Frost, of course, first game back after an 8+ year hiatus from the reins as the head coach of the Knights. After that, North Carolina A&T, it was all Knights at 68-7. And then the victory that we don't really know if it's impressive or not, the victory over North Carolina. UNC hasn't been horribly impressive themselves in the first year under Bill Belichick. 34-9, UCF got them. So they were feeling good, had a bye week, and then they went to the Little Apple to take on a K-State team that, whether they're good or they're not, maybe they're just underachieving. Who knows?
Yeah.
Bottom line is they're 2-3.
That's
so
right.
K-State was a 1-3 team, and they ended up knocking off UCF 34-20. So it's still early enough to where you don't really know what you're going to get out of the Knights, but we do know that they've got quarterback issues, whether it's injuries, whether it's rotation, whether it's inconsistent play. That's a big question mark for UCF. That's not to say that these guys can't play, but that's certainly at top of the line. They're going to try to run the football, and Dan, Miles Montgomery is the guy that they like to feed.
Yeah, Miles Montgomery is their number one. He's the bell cow, like you said. And to kind of open this up, I will go ahead and talk about Miles Montgomery and Jay Nixon, but I want to talk about their quarterback situation as well, right? I mean, right as of right now, the only questionable players that they have is Taven Jackson and Cam Fancher are apparently good to go, right? So we know Taven Jackson was dealing with an AC sprain as well as Ja'Cory Brown. Cam Fancher was the guy who started off the season, then got injured against Jacksonville State on a targeting call, and now has finally made his way to come back. So it'll be interesting to see if they go back to their initial gut instinct of starting Cam Fancher, or if they're going to kind of work in Taven Jackson. We could even see maybe a 2-quarterback kind of system, just because Scott Frost is probably still going to be feeling these guys out in terms of A, where are they at, and B, who's been playing better, because Taven Jackson came in and started playing excellent, right? I mean, he certainly, exceeded expectations because he lost the job to Cam Fancher, and he all of a sudden was playing really, really well. Cam Fancher was the highly touted FAU transfer coming out of Florida Atlantic. Taven Jackson came over from Indiana. Ja'Cory Brown also came over from Miami too. So 3 big transfers, all of them dealing with some injury. But as of right now, only one of them is listed as questionable. None of them are listed as out. So that's apparently good news for UCF. Wanted to talk about their run game a little bit, because they have Miles Montgomery and Jaden Nixon. Both of those guys are very good running backs, right? Miles Montgomery, like I said, he is the bell cow. 51 carries for 226 yards. But right behind him in yardage is Jaden Nixon with so Miles Montgomery has 268 yards. Jaden Nixon has 226 yards. Montgomery has 51 carries. Nixon only has 16 carries. So Nixon is that home run style kind of guy. And he got a lot of play in the North Carolina A&T game, which was an absolute blowout. So who really knows what to make of that game, right? I mean, it's kind of like Kansas playing against Wagner. It's like you're seeing guys who might not typically make an impact go out there and play quite a bit more. So I don't know what Jaden Nixon's role is going to be in this game. Presumably, it's going to be a lot of Miles Montgomery, but I have some numbers based on their offensive line. Because Kansas, I'll say this, Kansas probably played the best offensive line in the Big 12 last week in Cincinnati, because they hadn't given up a sack at all. The only sack on the season for Cincinnati is the one that Blake Harrell had, and it was later in the game. So this offensive line is a lot worse. I have some numbers here. So 24% of their inside runs get stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage. That is a terrible stat. So they're not able to get a lot of penetration. They're not able to get those 1, 2, 3, 4 yard runs on the inside zones like you typically see. 24%, almost a quarter of their inside run plays are stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage, right? Also, in pass protection, I just want to focus on the offensive line right now. Kansas State, they got 13 pressures on 32 passing attempts in that last game on Saturday. So their offensive line is giving up a lot of pressure. They're giving up a lot of penetration from the fronts, whatever defenses that they're playing against. So that's going to be key for Kansas is to win this battle in the trenches, right? I mean, you're going to have to get pressure on these guys and hit them in the backfield in order to essentially separate yourself from this team.
Yeah, and that's a great point because no matter against K-State, I'll say this because those are the numbers that you gave, which are really good numbers. No matter if they were running the ball or passing the ball, there was a pretty good chance that something bad was going to happen offensively, right? 24% their runs aren't going anywhere or are going backward. And then the passing plays, your QB is going to be pressured nearly half the time. That is a big time issue for UCF up front. And like you said, who knows? And obviously Oklahoma State and West Virginia, they've got issues. Colorado's got issues. Who knows who's going to be at the bottom of the Big 12? But UCF, a team that there's a realistic chance that they could end up toward the bottom of the Big 12 because if you can't protect the quarterback, if you can't get any push up front, that's going to be a problem. Kansas is going to be hungry, and we'll talk about KU on the offensive line and offensive side in general here in a second. But you have to love, particularly after looking at the UCF offensive line, the opportunity for KU's front four, right? And we know it's not just four guys. There's going to be a lot of rotation, but these are guys that we talked about throughout the offseason, Dan. And whether it's the starters in Withers and Dunn and Miller and Finkley, or it's the other guys who come in from a rotational standpoint, Blake Harreld's been fantastic. Leroy Harris has had his moments, and he's going to be a great player here at KU. This is a great opportunity for KU to completely dominate whether UCF is passing or rushing. I've said throughout that I like Kansas in this game a lot. And a big reason is because the battle of the trenches, particularly with UCF on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look, we've heard a lot from Blake Harreld over this past week, and that's a guy who didn't really have a whole lot of expectations, right? Because we've been hearing about all these veteran guys like DJ Withers, Tommy Dunn, Keenan Caldwell, all these guys in the middle. Blake Harreld has really risen to the top and made some outstanding plays over the last couple of games. So it's been really impressive to see Blake Harreld kind of come about. And it's great, too, because those big guys in the trenches, just to call a spade, those guys need a lot of rotation, right? They can't be out there constantly, and that's been something that Kansas has had to deal with quite a bit. So if you have faith in those kind of second-tier guys who are those rotational pieces, then that takes a load off of your Kansas defense because Kansas has had such a struggle getting off the field on the defensive side of the ball. We saw it late in that Cincinnati game where they were giving up a lot of stuff. They were giving up a lot of big chunk plays. They were getting tired towards the end. So if you can have more rotation, at least in the front end of things, your defensive line is not going to get as tired, basically, right? So it's great to see Blake Harreld and Marcus Calvin and all these guys, really starting to step up and make a big difference. And I loved how you said about Leroy Harris, about a guy who's going to be a fantastic player for Kansas and already is a fantastic player for Kansas. He has proven himself week in and week out. And we have two guys basically who are the leaders, not just on the defensive line, but on the defense as a whole, in Dean Miller and Justice Finkley. And Leroy Harris, in terms of what he's been putting out on film and what he's been doing out on the field, has really kind of risen above them in terms of his play.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, I want to flip the field eventually, but first, one more thing I want to highlight on defense. KU not going to have Bengali Kamara on the second level, right? So John Kamara, a guy who's going to have to step up. DK McDonald saying a little bit earlier this week, Logan Brantley is going to get a little bit of run, and obviously Trey Lathan needs to be Trey Lathan, one of the best players in the conference, frankly, all season. But let's talk about the secondary against these UCF receivers because KU doesn't have the experience that they had. They do have height, which is potentially something that could be noteworthy in this game because UCF has two receivers in Burke and Black who are 6'3" or taller. They also have their best receiver, Dwayne Thomas Jr., is not a tall guy,
he's
more
5'7",
of a jitterbug type. But it's going to be interesting when these quarterbacks decide to give their receivers a shot, which I'm thinking at practice this week, especially with UCF not really having all sorts of confidence in whatever quarterback it is, there's going to be a lot of one-on-one opportunities. So I like having Alexander in particular as a guy who can be that cover corner, but they're going to have to make some plays. And I'll go back to what I said. And the last thing defensively from me, takeaways. KU's only got 3 in the last 4 games. That's got to be improved. Kobe and Melo, they had their faults at times in coverage, had some breakdowns at the end of games, certainly last year, but they would make big plays, right?
Yeah.
They weren't perfect, but Kobe had a game with 3 interceptions. Kobe had the scoop and score. We had so many pick sixes from Melo Dotson as well. Those are game-breaking, game-changing plays. I'm not saying it has to happen every game, but the takeaways do if Kansas wants to have the season that they're looking for.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And I love what you said about the wide receivers for UCF because they're long and lengthy, and that could be a potential mismatch for this Kansas secondary, which I hate to keep on bringing it back to the front line, but you don't have Bengali Kamara out there, right? So that puts more pressure on the guys on the front to get pressure on that quarterback or get past that pass protection that they have, because the more you can get past that pass protection, get penetration, the more unsettled the quarterback is going to be where he can't make those throws. Because to me, there is a mismatch there with those tall, lengthy receivers and the jitterbug, like you said, with Dwayne Brown Jr. You know, those guys can find the soft spots in those zones. Those guys can get up and high point the ball over some other guys in the Kansas secondary. So if you're able to get pressure on the quarterback, make him make bad throws, make him make mistakes, then that essentially, and I hate to sound like a inspiring coach here, but it's a whole team thing, right? All of these facets of the defense just work together where, hey, if your defensive line's getting pressure, that takes a load off of your secondary, right? If your secondaries are having good pressure or having good coverage, then that allows your front line to give more time to get more pressure, right? So all of these inner workings just kind of, once they start mingling together and working together, that's when the defense is really going to thrive. So it's going to be interesting to see because of the fact that we haven't really seen that, at least in the Cincinnati game, right? And it's so weird to look at it. Henry Greenstein brought this up. You know, in the West Virginia game, you looked at the Kansas defense and you go, man, this is the best Kansas defense that we've seen under Lance Leipold. And all of a sudden, you see the Cincinnati one, you go, oh, actually, never mind. That's there's just like the same thing is happening from last year. So it's just unfortunate to see it at least break down at that point. But also a lot of it is fatigue and just missed assignments because you're so tired from being out there for so long. But also, hey, if you're the defense, get off the field. You have to make them get those 3 and outs.
I know you've got some keys to the game on both sides, but after talking about the UCF offense, KU defense, do you mind if we flip the field a little bit? Let's talk about KU on offense. First thing that comes to mind regarding KU potentially having success in this one offensively is what Kansas State did on the ground against UCF. You look, Dylan Edwards had 20 carries, 166 yards. Avery Johnson, 12 carries, 87 yards. KU has a guy at quarterback who we know can put up those types of numbers. JD is so good because we've talked about this throughout. Now, I've compared him to Mahomes to an extent, a little bit opposite of a guy like Sorsby. We had this conversation last week in previewing Cincinnati, where Sorsby more of a Jalen Hurts type in terms of, okay, 1 read, maybe 2, he's off and running. JD is kind of more like the Mahomes type, where the dude is going to hold on to the ball and give his receivers as long as possible to get open because he wants to throw first. But when it's time to tuck and run, he tucks and runs. So we know he can do it.
He does
had
it well.
5 carries, 69 yards last week against Cincinnati. And he had 5 carries, 69 yards the week prior against West Virginia. He had 55 additional yards on the ground when he totaled 500 against Cincinnati last week. He can run. That's going to be a problem for UCF. The big question, though, Dan, it goes back to the run game in terms of the tailbacks, right? We talk about the offensive line. We talk about the quarterback and the receivers helping everybody. At some point, running backs, you don't have Devin Neal. We've seen moments from Leshaun Williams. Don't know if Daniel Hy-Shaw is going to play. Perhaps some of those backups and Stewart and Thompson will get some run, but it's going to mostly be Leshaun Williams. He is going to have a big game. Frankly, moving forward, KU's got to get more from the running backs to help out JD.
Yeah, so actually, it came out last night. Daniel Hy-Shaw is going to be out for this game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another Leshaun Williams game, right? We're not even going to see Daniel Hy-Shaw at the beginning of this game. He's going to be out there in street clothes. Now, what we saw from Leshaun Williams with those home runs was excellent, right? We understand that he is able to break those tackles and break off long runs, but they have some good pieces in their defense as well, namely Lewis Carter. He has 25 tackles. He's their linebacker. Only 2 missed tackles on the year out of those 25. So it's really impressive to only have 2 missed tackles. Now, Le'Shawn Williams is good at breaking tackles, but with a guy as skilled as Lewis Carter, is he going to be able to break out and get to that secondary and make a safety or a corner or a nickel or someone like that try to stop him, right? Also, you have to be able to get penetration through the front line as well. They have a good pass rush. They've been really good against the pass, but their front line is decent, right? They have a good pass rusher in Malachi Lawrence. He's really good off the edge. 14 pressures this season. Only has 6 tackles, though. So he's getting a lot of pressure, making quarterbacks uncomfortable, right? So that's something you see with Jalen being flushed out. But like you said, he's so good at extending plays and waiting for guys to get open, and then when he needs to run, he absolutely can. He can tuck it and just go. We've seen it time and time again with Jalen. He's not the Jalen Hurts type of player, right? He's the Patrick Mahomes type of player where he can extend those plays. So if they are getting pressure, you still feel confident in Jalen to be able to make those kinds of plays. But on the defensive end, you have to get something going with Le'Shawn Williams. You have to have him be able to break free. I think that's been going to be a big key to this game, is having Le'Shawn Williams be able to break free, and he has to hit at least 1 or 2 home runs.
Yeah, certainly hope so. Defensively, Kansas has the athletes. They just got to find a way to force those turnovers. That's always a key. Fundamentally, can KU make sure that they're catching passes, make sure they have ball security, that sort of thing? And then special teams. Hopefully, Laith Marjan is good to go, and we see him. Finn Lappin has been so good. The return game has been awesome. Can KU win that third level and third phase of the game that has proved to be so important? Any other keys from you, Dan, and KU walking out of Orlando with a victory? Because let's look at the season as a whole. Kansas' schedule, at least on paper, gets progressively harder, right? There are a few, games in the middle where you expect Kansas to have a lot of success, Oklahoma State on November 1st and that sort of thing. But after this, you go to Texas Tech, and then before Oklahoma State, you have K-State. Your final 3 games in November, 2 are on the road at Arizona and Iowa State, and the other is against a really good Utah team. So you look at that, you start doing the math. Kansas, I know that their goal is to continue getting better week in and week out, but we got to get these W's, right?
Yeah.
UCF is a team that's gettable, so we got to make sure we take care of it.
100%. And I do have some keys to the game on the offensive side of the ball. Like I said, got to get Le'Shawn Williams going, but you have to beat them in the intermediate passing game. And what I mean by that is that don't beat them with the 93-yard touchdowns like what we saw with Emmanuel Henderson. You can do that. That would be fantastic, right? UCF is better in pass defense than Cincinnati was. And we also saw the Cincinnati secondary make some mistakes on those 2 home run balls that Emmanuel Henderson was able to get. You got to beat them in the intermediate passing game. Find those soft spots in those zones. Try to sneak around that really skilled secondary that they have. And then probably the biggest one is I want to see Jalen Daniels in the option a lot more, right? We saw a lot of option plays with Jalen early in his career under Andy Kotelnicki. We saw a little bit of it last year under Jeff Grimes. Weirdly enough, and Kevin Flaherty actually brought this up on the show a couple of, or maybe it was this week, talking about how he's actually a little bit surprised that we haven't been utilizing the option as much as we did last year, right? So Jalen Daniels in the option, I'm on record saying it's my favorite thing that he does, right? The passing is great. The extension of plays is great. Whenever Jalen is in the option, he does such a tremendous job at knowing when to pitch. He's had a couple of missteps here and there. I think there's one this year where the pitch was a little late after he got hit. Jalen in the option is great, and I think that that's the way you beat them, because we saw Avery Johnson and Dylan Edwards be able to do that as well. Avery Johnson was able to get those edges and get a lot of rushing yards as well. I want to see Jalen be able to do that. I want to see some option plays, make them choose, and make Jalen beat you on his legs. I think that's the way the offense works. And then on the defensive side of the ball, got a couple of keys here. You got to get pressure on the quarterback, make him uncomfortable. Now, that's kind of a given for everybody, but you have 2 quarterbacks right now, both coming back from injuries. And the wide receivers, like I said, against this Kansas secondary, it's a little bit of a mismatch in terms of height, right? So you don't want them to be able to place the ball at a high point where the wide receivers can catch it, get pressure on the quarterbacks, whoever it may be, whether it be Cam Fancher or Taven Jackson, make them uncomfortable, make them flush out of the pocket. So you have to get pressure on them. You can't let them find those soft spots in the zone either, right? Because they have those long, lengthy wide receivers. Got to make the quarterback make mistakes. You got to take advantage of it where you can and use the defense kind of as a whole. Like I said, work together. The defensive front needs to get pressure to kind of alleviate some of the pressure on the corners and the safeties.
KU UCF tomorrow at 6:30. You can hear coverage beginning with the Crimson and Blue Show at 5 o'clock on Sports Radio 810 WHB. KU looking to improve to 4-2 would be a crucial fourth win of the season, and good vibes heading into a really tough game in Lubbock on October 11th. Hey, we are live at Hy-Vee. Come on by, get a $7 Italian Mia ready-to-eat pizza. So delicious. Best bang for your buck in town. A well-kept secret. It's not a secret anymore. We want everybody out there to come by. Plus, we're giving away some Kansas Nation swag as well. So come say hey to us here on Rock Chalk Sports. More after this on Rock Chalk Sports. Thanks for watching KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com with Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. We are live at Hy-Vee, Clinton and Castle. Come on by, say hey, got some swag we're giving out as well. Dan, NFL game picks time. Brief tangent over to the NFL side of things. You know, we got to start with the appetizer that everybody loves, the 8:30 game overseas. And is there a football team that you'd rather watch at 8:30 in the morning? Wake up early to watch the Cleveland Browns?
No, I can think of 31 other teams.
You'll be sleeping.
I will probably be sleeping. No, I just got a dog, so I've been waking up. I woke up early this morning. So I have 2 dogs. We're a family of 4 now. Just got a dog yesterday, by the way. Adopt, don't shop. Got a dog. His name's Mac. He's a cute little man. So I will be up for that game. Also, question, is it really an appetizer, or would you consider that breakfast?
Appetizer.
Okay, all right.
I like appetizer just because
it's a good appetizer
So the noon slate is the main entree.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think I like the appetizer feel. I mean, that's a fair question, though.
Yeah,
it's a fair question.
I think like the Cleveland Browns to me are like they're like turkey bacon in the morning. You're like,
right. Well,
I guess I'm hungry. You know,
how we're gonna
like I'll eat it.
Here's how we're gonna segue from KU UCF preview to NFL game picks. Former UCF, Oklahoma, and Oregon legend Dillon Gabriel getting the start for the Cleveland Football Browns. They're getting 3.5 across the pond against the Vikings. And how about that over under 36.5?
Man, 36.5 is absolutely insane. The public loves the under too. It's at -120.
What have I told you?
36.5. I mean, you hammer that under. I mean, the lowest line you always go under. The highest line you always go over. That's the way of thinking.
But usually somebody knows something, right?
That's fair. Somebody knows something, right? So yeah, the reason there's a reason is at 36.5. Jet lag, maybe, who knows? This game's gonna be
bad players, maybe.
This game is gonna be disgusting, right? It's Carson Wentz against Dillon Gabriel. By the way, we'll get to this in stock market. Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, weirdo.
Wow.
Weirdo. I will say this really quick though. Dillon Gabriel, this experience just reeks of a 2 or 3 week deal where the Browns say they gave him a chance, and then he maybe never plays football again.
Right.
Honestly, like, and good luck to the kid. I'm not wishing that on him, but it does to me seem like that.
Doesn't he have the most passing yards in college football history?
Is that right?
Yeah, because he played for like
so many
8 years.
Yeah. But
so that makes sense.
I just doesn't seem like a.
Okay, so I think Dillon Gabriel is going to be bad in this game. Not that I'm not a fan of Dillon Gabriel. I think he's going to be bad in this game. Carson Wentz is going to also be bad in this game. It's going to be a defensive chess match. I will go ahead and take the under 36.5. I like the Vikings to win it by more than 3.5, though. I think they might win it by a touchdown. This game has like 17 to 10 written all over.
Yeah, really don't need to wake up for it. I like the Vikings to win by exactly 3.5. I'm gonna go with. So no, give me the under 36.
Where's the half point come from?
Right, who knows? It's the Browns, so who knows? Anything can happen. Dillon Gabriel, by the way, shout out losing at the booth 2 years ago. KU over number 6. Oklahoma. Eagles hosting the Broncos, a big one at noon on Sunday. Philly at home, only 4.5 point favorites. Over under is 43.5. By that, you can probably tell. I think I'm going with the public here. Broncos plus 4.5.
I like the public loves the 4.5. It's at -118. I think I like it too, right? As much as I hate to, and you always say I'm a Broncos fan for literally no reason.
No, you are.
I'm not a Broncos fan. I've never once been a Broncos fan. I've only liked 2 players ever for the Broncos in my life.
Matt Tate's a Broncos fan.
That's right.
We got to get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, we do need to get him on the show. I've only liked 2 Broncos players ever, and it was Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib. So that's the only that's where
Surely there was another KU player played there. Steven Johnson.
Steven Johnson played there.
That's a good
I
pull.
think Steven Johnson. Yeah, he was on that Super Bowl 50 team as well, I believe.
We digress.
We digress. Yeah, I like the Broncos here. I like them to cover 4.5. I don't know if they win or not. You might. I mean, it's gonna be close, right? It's gonna come down to the wire. I think I like the over in this game, 43.5. I think there's gonna be a lot of scoring, even though the clock's gonna run a lot. I don't know. I just have a weird gut feeling about the over. Give me the over 43.5. Broncos plus 4.5.
Saints aren't going to go 0-17, and they're actually favored in this one at home against the New York Football Giants. Saints minus 1.5, over under 42.5.
By the way, you got sentled. Jackson Dart did not post a picture of Madison Beer.
Ah, man,
I know
that
I saw it too, and I was like, "Man, that's awesome."
You sure he didn't post? It was said that he posted and deleted it.
Yes, so I went
Never
through.
happened?
I went through, and it was community noted,
Okay.
and a bunch of people
Good
were
to know.
like, "Man, this got me." So it was so we both got. We both got. I know.
That's right.
As much as I hate to, yeah, that's
Hey, even
it
Chris
would've been
Courtwright
great.
gets
It
got
would've been
occasionally.
great. So for that reason, nope, I'm not gonna do it. My motto is I'll try anything
You have a
twice.
lot of mottos,
I have
man.
a lot
It's
of
tough
mottos.
for me to keep up.
I'll try anything twice. But also fade the Saints. Give me the New York Football Giants. I think Jackson Dart has a big game in this one. I think they're going to win. Give me plus 100. No, wait, hold on. Give me the money line. I don't care. I'm not going to take the point. Give me the money line because that's how confident I am. The Giants are going to go down to New Orleans and win this ball game. Jackson Dart, 3 touchdowns.
I'm one of your biggest fans, but I sincerely hope you lose a lot of money on this. I
Sure.
hope the Saints win by 1, just because you didn't follow the rule that you're supposed to. Giants plus 1.5. I will take the point on that. Colts hosting the Raiders. Indianapolis. Did you ever think that you'd see the day where Indiana Jones would be a 7-point favorite? That's the situation against the Raiders. Over under 47.5.
It is the Raiders, though. So also, I have it at plus 7 right now. So the public seems to be betting up on the Raiders. I think the Colts are on fraud watch. I don't believe that they are a good football team. Jonathan Taylor's okay, right? I think Shane Steichen is a fun coach. I just don't believe in him. I'm not a believer in Daniel Jones still to this day. So give me the Raiders plus 7. I like them there. Give me the over 47.5. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Geno kind of goes off.
I also like the Raiders plus 7. I think that's too many points. Same reason I like the Niners last night at plus 8.5. I think it's too many points to lay. Over 47.5. I will also take Cowboys at the Jets. Jets at home plus 1.5. Over under 47.5.
Yeah, this game's disgusting. Oh God, who's going to watch this? So Cowboys are a minus 1.5 point favorite at the Meadowlands. I think the Cowboys win this game. They're minus 1.5, so I take the point. Is that correct?
They're not offering you the point.
They're not offering them a point, so I'll go money line.
Yes.
Minus 125. Give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Maybe that's how you need to remember it. They're not offering you the point. They offer you the point, they take it. They're not offering you the point here.
Right, they're not offering me the point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go money line here for the Dallas Cowboys. I think they go into the Meadowlands and win. It's going to be a disgusting game, under 47.5.
I like the Jets here. I'm a big Justin Fields guy, as you know. I think it's kind of a trap to take Dallas money line, so give me the Jets.
You're still in on you give me crap for being still in on Trevor Lawrence. You're still in on Justin
Fields. Is good, and
Trevor
he's
Lawrence
fun.
has never
Trevor
lost
Lawrence
his starting spot.
Trevor Lawrence is neither. Texans at Ravens. How about the Texans being favored? Does that tell you anything? Texans are minus 1.5. Ravens. Is it officially not going to have Jackson or unofficially?
So,
Okay,
so Lamar Jackson is officially out as of like an hour ago, maybe.
Minus 1.5 for the Texans on the road. Over under 40.5. Boy, would those numbers be different.
Is this a Cooper Rush revenge game? Did Cooper Rush have a little stint with the Texans? I could be wrong.
Does not sound right.
Okay, fair enough.
Cowboy legend.
Never mind then. Go ahead and give me the Texans in this one because I am still in on C.J. Stroud. I like the Texans here, man. I think they're good. Nico Collins is awesome. Give me the Texans.
I'm getting 1.5 at home with the Ravens. I understand they don't have Lamar, but still, I'm taking that.
I will say,
1.5.
give me the under in this game. I think the defenses are going to show out. Even though the Ravens defense looked horrible against the Chiefs, the Texans are not the Chiefs. So I like the under in this game, under 40.5.
You thought Cowboys-Jets was bad. How about we take a trip to North Carolina where the Panthers host the Dolphins, plus 1.5 for the homestanding Big Cats, over under 45.5.
I have a great sports stock market on the Panthers. We'll wait to get to it.
They're just happy to be being talked about.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins money line. Dolphins go in there and win. Minus 120.
Dolphins.
I mean, Dolphins, Panthers, to me, that's just all like, you don't even have to tell me a line. The line could be 4 and I'd still bet the under. Like, it's just give me the under on this game. 45.5, that's too many points for these teams.
I like the Dolphins. I think they win again. They are on a stretch where they don't have to play very many good teams in a row, and I think they get it done at Carolina. Cardinals at home hosting the Titans, minus 7.5. For the Redbirds, over under 41.5.
I think Cam Ward, I think this is his breakout game. I think he's been really struggling. The offensive line has been horrible, right? Calvin Ridley's just dropping everything. I think this is the game where Cam Ward figures it out. Titans, this is my hot take. Titans money line plus 330.
My favorite line of the week is this next game in the Pacific Northwest, Bucks at Seahawks. Bucks are plus 3.5. I will take that over under 44.5.
By the way, they're both wearing their throwbacks.
Great.
So you get creamsicles.
Great.
And you got the retro Seahawk, the blue, the like the royal blue.
Two of the better throwbacks in
this might be the best uniform game in NFL history, I think.
It could be.
I think it might be. So
Thoughts on the line?
Just for that.
Yeah.
The reason that the uniforms are going to be so awesome, I think a lot of points are going to be scored. So give me the over 44.5. I don't want to touch this line. I don't know where to go with this. But I will say this. This could be a lock every single week, by the way. Emeka Egbuka, anytime touchdown.
Let Baker bake. Give me the plus 3.5. Bengals at home. They are a disaster. Lions are on the road, minus 10.5. Over under 49.5.
Yeah, the Bengals are a disaster. Give me the Lions. I mean, that's an easy one.
I don't usually like laying these big numbers, but I've done it recently with the Lions. It's worked out.
Yeah.
Give me the Lions minus 10.5.
I will go under 49.5, though.
Two more to get to. Chargers at home hosting the football team. LAC minus 2.5. Over under 47.5.
I mean, Jaden Daniels, is he back?
Yes.
I think he's back, but he's still going to be a little dinged up. I like the Chargers in this game. I think the Chargers are figuring it out. Give me the Chargers minus 2.5 at minus 120. The public loves them as well. Give me the over 47.5. Going to go against the public here at minus 105.
I like the Chargers as well. I don't usually like the minus 2.5 for the same reason I don't like the minus 1.5. So I'm going to play it safe with the minus 155. Chargers win the game, but I agree. I think Daniels will be a little bit rusty. Sunday Night Football, of course, we're not talking Chiefs today because they don't play until Monday night, where they are 3.5-point favorites on the road in Duval County. Sunday night, Bills hosting the Patriots. Bills are laying 8.5, over under 49.5.
Stephon Diggs revenge game.
You're right.
That's going to be the storyline, probably, right? You would
Drew
think.
Bledsoe revenge game.
Yes, Drew Bledsoe revenge game. That's absolutely right. You know what? Give me the Patriots here. Just because it's Sunday Night Football, primetime games get a little weird sometimes. I think it's going to be uncomfortably close for the Bills. Bills still come out on top, right? So if you want to take money line at minus 425, go for it. I think the New England Patriots cover that 8.5.
I like the Pats plus 8.5 as well. Divisional game. I think the Pats are on an ascent. It might not be the steepest ascent, but it's still an ascent. Give me the over 49.5 as well. That's our NFL game picks for today. After this, we're going to be joined by a UCF insider to talk Jayhawks and Knights. It's Andrew Cherico from Knights 24/7. We're live at Hy-Vee, Rock Chalk Sports. Thanks for watching on KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to KansasNation.com here, Rock Chalk Sports. This is Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. We're pleased now to be joined on Zoom by Andrew Cherico. Andrew covers UCF with 24/7 Sports. Andrew, first of all, appreciate you coming on. Excited for the game, which is tomorrow at 6:30 Central Time. The UCF team 0-1 in conference, KU 1-1. Both experienced some success in the non-con. Just kind of take us through the Knights season thus far, the 3-0 non-con, and then the game at K-State last week.
Absolutely. So if you want to take us all, if you want me to take you all the way through the Knights season, the quarterback battle was all the way up until the game week where we went ahead against Jacksonville State, and it was announced that Cam Fancher was initially starting quarterback, transfer from FAU senior. And we, as writers, as journalists, we were preparing for him to lead the Knights this season. Then he goes down in the second quarter of the game against Jacksonville State. And Taven Jackson, who was the touted transfer coming in from Indiana, the perspective of it was all different because with Gus Malzahn, he usually wanted to play his guys who he brought in from the transfer portal, spend money on them, promoted them. Scott Frost has more of a system of, if you play the best, we're going to play you, no matter what your status is coming onto the team. So Cam Fancher had earned the job, but Taven Jackson, I always thought had a higher ceiling. And when I had did my initial 2 deep projection, I had him as my starter from based off of what I solely saw during fall camp, not what I heard around the team. But turning into the season now, Taven Jackson has taken the reign as quarterback one, and it's been solid. It's been solid. It hasn't been terrible, hasn't been fantastic, but there's been solid ground. He led the Knights in the fourth quarter to victory against Jacksonville State, then blew out North Carolina A&T bye week. The big statement game was UCF versus UNC, Bill Belichick, Scott Frost, Bill Belichick reunion. That was a little subplot line with them on the Jets. And it was really interesting to see what UCF was going to do in that situation. Home game, third home game in a row. It's a level a big step up from the competition they had previously played. So there was their first opportunity to showcase what they really are. Because in my opinion, no team you can really judge them off of their first 2 games, especially when it's just against lower quality of talent. Now, UCF 3-0, feeling high and mighty going into against Kansas State, and they lose their offensive line coach, Sean Clark, who tragically passed away recently, and that definitely took a toll on the team. But Scott Frost has built a culture and a dynamic that this isn't an excuse-made team. They're willing to work with each other. They've built tight bonds. They're connected. They want to love and show that love on the football field and show that passion together. So the team took a step back. They wanted to rally around Sean Clark and they wanted to get that win for him so very bad. But against Kansas State, Knights, Taven Jackson suffered an AC joint sprain in the game. Then Jakari Brown comes in, throws an interception on his first pass, and it just sets the Knights up for having to climb back the entire game. It was 17-10 going into half when it could have been 10-10 because the defense had been on the field so much. Kansas State just started driving down the field and it just got out of hand quickly. But the thing I saw about UCF is that they didn't give up, nor did they stop fighting. In the fourth quarter, they had a chance to make it a one-score game, but some non-aware, self-inflicting penalties of delay of games, false starts, pushed them out of scoring position or what could have been a very different game towards the end. Overall, UCF, the start, many predicted 2-2, 3-1. I guess you have to be happy with 3-1. And it's a young and rebuilding team. Nobody expects this UCF team to go out there and win the Big 12 in his first season. I don't think anybody expected Coach Frost to go undefeated again in his first season. But for 3-1, if the Knights can bounce back and show a competitive game against Kansas, I feel like that's a win.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about Scott Frost. Obviously, left UCF to go back to his alma mater, Nebraska. Didn't exactly pan out there. Then he bounced around in the NFL. Now he's back at UCF. Explain to me the difference between the first Scott Frost reign and this second time around. What do you think has changed about his coaching style? What do you think that he kind of brought different to this UCF team in the second go around?
He's just a more mature coach now. It's funny that you asked me to name the first Scott Frost time. I was in middle school last time Scott Frost was in, but I have done my research, of course. I did my history on Coach Frost, and from everything I've gathered, he's a more cerebral coach now. During his introductory press conference, he made a quote that's really stuck with me throughout what I've been doing. Is people say to keep climbing the ladder, but people don't tell you to stop when you're happy. He was happy at UCF. He didn't have any of the external pressure. He took over a program that didn't have much expectations and turned them into a national stage. Without that Scott Frost season, the undefeated season, UCF isn't in the Big 12 right now. That's the simple way to put it. No matter how much the brand had grown, they needed a statement season like that, and he brought that. And then after he left, the constant success after him. Now, in terms of his coaching style, he understands what it is to win and lose now at a head coaching level. He had just had so much success at UCF. He said he won a lot quicker than he expected. He knows how it is to fight through the losses. He knows how it is to work through the rebuilding of teams. He knows how it is to go through the process of a quarterback battle, which he did this season, first time around again. He isn't stubborn in his play calling. The first time around, it was UCF fast, UC fast, UC fast. He is his style, and he's said this many times throughout press conferences. he wants to dictate his game style depending on what the defense gives him. He isn't going to force the game plan through the defense's face. He is going to adjust accordingly, and he wants to make game time adjustments to see what can succeed, what can't, halftime adjustments, all that. That's stuff that's new within the Scott Frost system, as well as his overall involvement with the team. He has matured, obviously, throughout his time, and that's what comes with being a coach. You gain more wisdom, you learn different things. He was under Sean McVay with the Los Angeles Rams for a couple years, and you learn a lot of things like that. And he mentioned the only head coaching job he would have taken in college sports was UCF, and he loves to be back at UCF. After the first game, it was a rain game, 2 hour lightning delay. He came into the press conference room and said, "No matter how that just went, I just need to reinforce how much I love coaching here." And I think that has set a culture for the team. This culture I've seen in literally 1 year change. It's entirely almost 85% new team. It's over 60 new players. The defense is speaking with the offense. The offense is speaking with the special teams. The team is united. The team cares about each other. And like I mentioned with the passing of Coach Clark, they wanted to rally around him. They weren't able to, but they're keeping him in their hearts this season, and they wanted to go out there and do the best they can. And that's because of Coach Frost's culture.
Yeah, tragedy indeed with the loss of Sean Clark, UCF's offensive line coach, a couple weeks ago. Andrew Cherico joins us right now on Zoom. Andrew, let's kind of go back to the offensive side for UCF. I want you to talk, of course, about Miles Montgomery, and it seems like this Knights team wants to run the ball, but where's the quarterback situation at right now? You mentioned Fancher and Jackson and Brown. All of them have been in the plans. We've seen a little bit of all of them. What is the status right now? Who are the Knights going to have out there in the QB position on Saturday?
So that's what we're trying to figure out, the same thing, guys. This quarterback battle, there's one thing I need to reinforce is that Coach Frost has stated time and time again he's confident with all three quarterbacks he has on his team, and that's Taven Jackson, Cam Fancher, and Jakari Brown. He's confident with all three of them, and all three have different playing styles. Taven Jackson's more of like the bigger frame, strong arm. Cam Fancher is improviser, can make a lot of throws on the run. And then Jakari Brown's your typical dual threat. I'm going to take it and we're going to run or we're going to launch it deep. And that's how he's adjusted the game plan so that all three can have a play in the system. And we've even seen times where Taven Jackson and Jakari Brown have been on the field together or wildcat formation and something of that nature. But right now, the quarterback status is Taven Jackson has proven to Coach Frost, in my opinion, that he's won the job and he deserves to keep playing. Now, the issue is during the Kansas State game, both Taven Jackson and Jakari Brown suffered AC joint sprains in their shoulder. And I initially thought it was way worse. We thought broken collarbone, separated shoulder, AC joint sprain. For Taven Jackson, it's his non-throwing arm. The other factor of that is Cam Fancher has been cleared to play for the past 2 weeks. He was recovering from a back injury that he suffered in the first game of the season against Jacksonville State. And that's when Taven Jackson got his opportunity to prove himself. But Cam Fancher, if we remember, he won the starting job. It wasn't like he's just any pushover. He was the starting quarterback coming into the season. My opinion, if Taven Jackson is ready to go, he will be the starter out there. But say it's worst case, I think Cam is going to step up there again. But my goal is Taven, pending
And
how.
looking at this game, obviously coming up tomorrow, it's going to be down in Orlando at the Bounce House. What do you know about this Kansas squad? And I guess give us kind of a breakdown in terms of where you think UCF lines up well against this Kansas team.
Fast. UCF has speed off the edge. Talking about, and I want to do defense, offense because you guys' offense is very, very powerful. Jalen Daniels is a heck of a quarterback. The problem that UCF had against Kansas State was being able to contain Avery Johnson after the play broke down. He no receivers downfield, the defensive backs that were all over. He found the lane and he was able to take it 20, 30 yards at a time, and that was a killer. If Avery Johnson can do that, Jalen Daniels can most certainly do that as well, and at a very high rate. The team is fast though for UCF. Off the edge, you have rushers Nigel Kelly, Malachi Lawrence. These are not your prototypical bulldog. We're gonna get in there edge rushers. No, they're fast, elusive. They like spin moves. They like being quick. The problem that UCF has had has been the interior rush, stopping the interior rush, as well on offense. I'll even go to offense after this, but the interior in general has been a weakness for UCF, especially on the line. UCF has been struggling in between stopping the run, reading the play, the pass option, the run pass option, or when the play, like I mentioned, when the play breaks down, containing the quarterback and not letting one of those random backyard plays turn into a touchdown. That's been a killer for UCF. Offensively, UCF, like I mentioned, the speed that they play at matches what the defense gives them. If the defense is playing deep and not giving wide receivers, fast receivers, I should mention, DJ Black or Dwayne Thomas Jr. any leeway for play out, roll out, action or go routes, which UCF loves to run, then Scott Frost is content with taking the short 5 yard dumpers, keep giving it, keep giving it, keep giving first downs, and then as soon as the safeties drop down, they're ready to attack over the top. The problem with UCF has been establishing the rush in the interior. Miles Montgomery and Jaden Nixon, majority of their big gains have been when the rush has bounced out to the left or the right of the line, have gone through Paul Ruba or Preston Cushman. The Knights need to establish the run interior. You need to make sure they get first downs. The Knights had less than double-digit plays in the first half against Kansas State just because they couldn't hold the ball. 3-and-outs, picks. How is the defense going to succeed like that? You can't keep throwing them out there and expecting to get them a stop every single time. So it's important the Knights establish the run, keep their defense off the field for as long as possible, and have nice long drives. Taven Jackson, if there's anything he's done well, it's been extending a drive, whether it's on the legs or making a contested throw. He's a confident quarterback, and it will come back to bite him sometimes as he's thrown some risky passes. But he knows he's confident in his ability to get it in there, and you'll see you'll see him try to fit in a lot of tight windows.
Yeah, absolutely. And you went through a lot there, a great in-depth breakdown of what UCF is either good at or bad at. If you could pick one thing, where is this game won and where is this game lost for UCF in terms of what absolutely needs to happen?
The trenches. I can't state it enough that this UCF team going into the season was Miles Montgomery, Jaden Nixon, that dual attack, keep pounding the interior. Every receiver on this current roster, except for Burdell Richardson, is new from having receptions from last year. There's no returning production from last season. A lot of transfer receivers. DJ Black comes from a school that is officially shut down. Like they go to the campus and it's closed. That's the kind of talent that UCF had brought in at receiver. Now, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying this is unknown. They were unknown. We didn't know what to expect from that receiver group. Taven Jackson, Cam Fanger, not saying they're bad, but nobody expected them to be top 10 quarterbacks in the nation. What UCF did expect was Miles Montgomery and Jaden Nixon, two different style running backs. One is a one-cut, hard-nosed. The other one is elusive, tries to find his lane. That's what it was expected to be the catalyst of the offense. Instead, it's been the passing game that has controlled UCF's offense. When UCF is passing the ball well, the team is moving. And when UCF is not passing the ball well, it's stagnant because the interior, the rush inside cannot get going. Miles Montgomery, if you look through the game film, Miles Montgomery has run into a brick wall 15 different times on the same drive. It's first and second down, the run fails, and then Taven Jackson or whoever's in that quarterback has to bail the Knights out on third down and keep the drive going. That's unacceptable, especially as you know in the Big 12, it's a very physical league. The O-line, D-line gets very physical. You need to establish that and play hard-nosed football.
Yeah, for sure. And KU, a team who's still kind of working through some kinks on their run game offensively as well. So that'll be interesting to see who wins the battle of the trenches on both sides. Andrew Cherico joins us right now. He covers UCF 24/7 Sports. Andrew, go back to a few of the guys you mentioned in terms of the skill positions on the offensive side. You mentioned before the season the question marks of guys like Black and Burke, and they've come on maybe even better than some people expected. They're 6'3" though, and then you've got a guy who's probably more of a jitterbug type, and Thomas, who's the leading receiver. If you're Kansas, who has struggled at times from secondary standpoint, who are you most concerned of out of that group? And I guess who is becoming, whoever the quarterback is, that go-to guy?
The go-to guy for getting the field, I have two different guys. The guy you want to get the ball to in open space and let make a play is Dwayne Thomas Jr. He has the nickname Speedy for a reason. He's short. Hands are questionable, but when he has control of the ball and once he has it in his possession, he can make a quick move and turn a 5-yard dump off to a 70-yard touchdown quickly. It happens fast. The receiver blocking and the downfield blocking has been questionable for UCF, so those are all the kinks being worked out. But a receiver who's really stood out in terms of once you put the ball in the air in his vicinity, it's likely to come down with it, is Marcus Burke. He was a receiver that honestly didn't stand out throughout fall camp. And as the season has come on, when UCF has needed a big third down completion, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, Taven Jackson has thrown it up there to him, and he's come down with it in contested catches too. Hands in his face, he jumps up with the ball and he brings it down. DJ Black is a receiver the Knights would hope to see more from, as he is the fastest receiver in the room, 6'3", long legs, great hands. He just needs to be sure his route running is on the mark, and he needs to make sure he's not getting off false starts and staying on the line. In terms of the two receivers, the Knights have very two dynamic playmakers, and Dwayne Thomas, where you could see Dwayne Thomas coming out the backfield sometimes. He's taking carries, jet sweeps, end arounds. He's all of that, wide receiver screens. Once he has the ball, he has a threat to make a play. And Marcus Burke is a receiver. Once he has the ball in the air and it's a chance for 50-50, he's likely going to come down with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, what concerns Scott Frost about Kansas, either offensively or defensively? You mentioned Jalen Daniels and kind of the struggles at times to contain opposing quarterbacks who aren't afraid to tuck it and run. Other concerns that Coach Frost has?
Coach Frost just wants to see consistency throughout the team. You guys run a fast-paced offense. The defense got worn down by the end of the game against Kansas State. Needed some big stops, especially I would even go first half. Needed a big stop going into halftime. Could have been a 10-10 game receiving the ball. Instead, no, excuse me, 17. It could have been a 10-7 game going to half receiving the ball. Instead, it was a 17-7 game going into half. And if UCF's defense just got that one stop, it could have been a different ball game. The defense needs to be sure that they stay not fatigued, not worn out. They need to get the stop on third down. There have been plenty of times, and of course, the offense plays a factor. You have so little plays on offense, and the defense continues to come onto the field and play and play and play. It wears a defense down. But the Knights had plenty of chances on third down to execute and get off the field again. And just that little extra mistake or that miscue led to Kansas State and Avery Johnson to get a first down, continue to drive on his legs, and keep it going. Also, Scott Frost pointed out during the game week presser that he saw some fatigue from his receivers. And I found that very interesting because they practice in 80, 90-degree heat. And that's, I feel like, the ideal conditions if you want to be a receiver. If you want to build your stamina, you build your stature, that you want to practice in those conditions. And I was very curious to find out that he that's what he noticed. But I would say just staying consistent and executing the little things. The penalties have been such a killer for the Knights. Discipline was a concern that obviously Coach Frost had in Nebraska, and sometimes the team would just seem unfocused and unpoised. Here for UCF, you don't want that same problem to carry over. And there have been times where, like I mentioned, against Kansas State, the Knights had a chance to bring it to a one-score game, and there's 4 penalties on one drive. You can't win football games like that. The Knights need to stay disciplined and stay ready and fresh to go.
Yeah, it's still going to be a toasty one. It's October 1st, doesn't necessarily feel, or it's beginning of October, doesn't necessarily feel like the beginning of October. Andrew, one last question for you. For any KU fans going down to Orlando, you can't say Disney World. What's one place that they absolutely have to hit? Like your favorite restaurant, the hidden gem in Orlando that they absolutely have to go to grab some grub.
Oh, okay. Food. Okay. You guys put me on the spot. I like food. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't want to go chain.
Yeah, no
Okay.
change.
All right. One spot. Man, I have a couple spots.
Throw them both
Get
out
them
there.
all.
Throw
Get
them both out
yeah.
there.
All right. I'll give you. I have different genres. I'm a big food guy. All right. If you want barbecue, I say Four River Smokehouse. If you want some good wings, either BJ Brewhouse or it's called Flanagan's. It's not the same Flanagan's you get in South Florida. It's a different Flanagan's. They have very good wings. What else am I missing? What else? I would say those 3 are very solid starters.
Solid pizza
Near the
anywhere?
university, there's a bunch of restaurants, but a bunch of places to go. If it's you want to grab some morning breakfast, I recommend Metro Diner or the Townhouse. There's some good spots. A lot of good food around here.
Hey, I love it. Hey, you're talking to 2 guys who each just threw down a triple cheeseburger for lunch. So you're speaking our language.
I would
Right.
say wings are my go-to. I can
Hey,
I can do wings any time of the day.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
you're talking
Going
to
in-
two guys who live right next to Kansas City, so we know barbecue.
Oh
for
man,
sure.
yeah,
know
we will.
barbecue.
We will. You're speaking to our hearts there.
When
But-
I get there eventually, I gotta contact you guys. You guys gotta send me a spot.
Oh,
Yes.
hey,
Oh.
you know it. You know it. Hey, well,
have a
let's link up again. It seems like KU basketball is always heading to UCF for their first conference game this season. I don't know why, but that's happening again this season for the first road game. So we'll get you on the show again sometime maybe after the new year. I think it's that first week of January. But Andrew Cherico, keep up the great work covering UCF for 24/7 Sports, and we'll have you on again soon, man. Thanks.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. In terms of basketball, you know how it goes. It's either a blowout or a close one. We'll see what it is.
Oh man, I know. Hey, watch out for us this year, though. Watch out. We think we're going to be ranked lower than we should. People are a little salty after the past couple of years of disappointment by our standards. So, Andrew, appreciate it. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, you got it. That's Andrew Cherico joining us, covering UCF for 24/7 Sports. After this, we've got more Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Hy-Vee, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here at Hy-Vee. Clinton and Castle, come on by. We're giving away free swag. We've got shirts. We've got Kansas Nation glasses. We've got a mildly entertaining Dan Courtwright.
Mildly.
But you know, sometimes we have a little joking going on during the break, and it sort of spews over.
Which, by the
But,
way, I totally just segues are weird. Anyway, we're giving these away. These thermos coolers. One's an $80 value. One's a $60 value. If you come up and answer a trivia question, we'll give it to you for free. Can you believe this? These are nice coolers, by the way.
They are, yes. Thermos, and these are the go-to coolers. I was actually talking with one of our fabulous staff here, Elijah Schmidt, about the soft shell and like appropriately sized coolers. A lot of times you got those big. Not all of us have trucks. Not all of us are Teresa Courtwright.
Yeah, like a Yeti 110. You're just like,
can't constantly be carrying those around. So these are very nice. Again,
get the straps on them like a backpack
in here as well.
You can put all of your textbooks and your studious items, if you will, in there, as well as I would assume a 12-pack of beer fits in there.
Oh, you could fit at least 12.
Think so?
At least 12. Well, sometimes 12 beers is actually 17. That's the
true.
thing, as you know.
Of course. How could I forget? But yeah, come on by, answer some trivia, and if you get it right, we'll give you one of these awesome coolers. Shout out to Keegan, John, Jen, everybody here at Hy-Vee.
We love coming out here.
Hosting us out here on this beautiful Friday. $7 hot grab-and-go pizzas. Actually just had one. I put down about half of it already. I gave Elijah Schmidt a slice, and then Sean just grabbed one without asking.
I did. Hey, you know what? Everybody's
well, he did. He grabbed it, and he goes, "Can I have this, by the way?" Well, I was like already halfway to his mouth. So
hey,
it's
if
whatever.
pizza's not your thing, $8 chicken enchilada and
Spanish rice.
5 o'clock on a Friday. It's time for our sports stock market segment. We're going to keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of sports.
Yes.
Stock is down on who, Daniel?
All right, let's start it off here. Stock is down on Good Robots. You know that I love me some Scorigami, right?
I do.
Scorigami, the NFL Scorigami Twitter account is my favorite Twitter account that I've ever seen. I love it. It has been messing up. So
22-9, not a Scorigami, though.
No, I understand this, but also, so they didn't post the Ravens, I believe it was the Ravens-Lions score, which wound up being, it was 41-40.
41-40.
That was a Scorigami. They didn't post that one, and everybody goes, "Hey man, are you okay?" Like they were like reaching out to Scorigami, which by the way is just a robot. And then for the Chicago, for the Bears Raiders game, which wound up being 25-24, that was the final. And then it said afterwards, it said this game has a 32.94% chance of ending in Scorigami, which doesn't.
Obviously, it was over.
Sure. And then it was over. And then it said most likely Scorigami, 44-25. And then it said it had a 922.87% chance of ending at that score.
So are the robots not taking over? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I think. I think that it's a little bit of, I mean, stocks up on humanity, I guess,
Yes.
but also the good robots. Stocks down on the good robots. This is the good robot, right? There's good robots and there's bad robots. Bad robots, we know the bad robots. This is a good robot.
All right, if you say so.
It's my favorite one, and it's something with the
22-9
code
happening 7 times in NFL history is crazy.
Isn't
When
that weird?
25-24, you said it never happened before. Is that right?
Yeah, 44-20, yeah, something.
44-25 was the most likely.
Yeah.
Scorigami, what's the word? Is it back to good business
No, it's
here?
not. No, it's like it's still just
We're worried
continuing to
about
mess
it.
up.
People love
Yeah,
that.
people are like,
it's a
hey,
nice,
look,
it's a nice little
we-
Sunday night thing. It's like I'm about
great.
to go to bed. My work week is about to
Yeah.
start. Let's
It's
see
all-
if anything's scoregami.
It's usually always the last thing. Like I'll be laying in bed after a long Sunday night. I gotta wake up for early on Monday morning. I'm scrolling. It's usually like the last thing I see. I'll be like, huh, the Jets, Bills, or
Yeah.
whoever. That was a scoregami. That's fun.
My favorite was DraftKings responding to it, saying "Scoregami, blink if you're okay." That was the issue.
Yeah, I
on
hate
that.
that. Hey, stocks down on hockey. This is crazy. So this happened during the postseason baseball as the
Postseason baseball. Okay.
Yes, so the Blackhawks and the Panthers, they're going to be opening up Tuesday, October 7th at 5 p.m. on ABC. San Diego Padres were playing against the Chicago Cubs. And on this broadcast, Ben McDonald, who is the color analyst for the Padres, they were promoting opening night for the NHL. Like, hey, Blackhawks, Panthers, like it's going to be fun. Do you think the Panthers are going to three-peat or whatever? Ben McDonald said, quote, "There is zero chance I'll be watching. I'm just going to be honest with you."
That's not what you want to do
What an insane thing to say.
when
Are
you
you
are
kidding me?
employed.
Yeah.
You're employed.
No, yeah, this wasn't even the guy. This wasn't even the Padres guy. This is a national guy.
Yeah.
Ben McDonald said
A
there's
national guy who
zero.
works for ABC and ESPN. Yeah,
Yes.
it's MLB, but still, that's
Yeah,
your employer.
He works for ABC, and
can't
you're
imagine
saying,
this is
hey,
gonna
this
end well.
thing that ABC is putting on their on TV,
There's a 0% chance. I'm gonna
Zero
watch it.
chance.
Hey,
Are you?
flip your channel over to CBS. Flip
Yeah,
your channel
right.
to NBC.
Yeah, watch
Anywhere
anything
but
else.
ABC. Yeah.
Man, what it was a ringing endorsement there. That's insane. Look, I'm not a hockey guy, but I'll dabble. You know what I mean? Like I'll watch the Stanley Cup
Well, it's fine.
Finals,
You
and
just
I like to
gotta
remember.
have a little bit of awareness.
Yeah.
Like it's fine if you don't watch it or
Right.
you're not gonna watch it. You still gotta say what you gotta say.
Also, yeah, you're employed by ABC, and they're putting a lot of money, I would assume, into broadcasting the NHL. And this
Yeah.
guy is on your television station saying, "Hey, I'm not like zero chance I'm watching this. Like,
Right.
who watches hockey?" It's like, what the hell, man? Like that's just insane. Speaking of hockey, by the way, stock's down on rooting for the home team. So I have this very funny picture. Elijah, I want you to pull this up. So apparently, the Colorado Avalanche, they were invited out to the Rams 49ers game on Thursday night. The whole entire Colorado Avalanche hockey team was wearing Rams jerseys.
That's
What
how
an-
does that happen?
So I actually did a little bit of digging into this. The owner of the Colorado Avalanche also owns the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah,
So
but still,
that makes sense a little bit, but you flew
your
the
fans
entire
can't be happy.
No, you flew the entire Colorado Avalanche out to LA, made them wear LA Rams jerseys. Like that's just insane. Like the Denver Broncos are probably like, "Hey man, like what the heck, you
Yeah.
know? Like we're here. Like it doesn't matter, right? Cuz the Royals and the Chiefs, two different owners, but they do a great job of I think, kind of now granted with all the stadium stuff going on, maybe
So-
not as much, but they still I think in terms of history they've always done a great job of kind of working together and promoting each other, right?
The same owner that you speak of owns the Denver Nuggets. It's Stan Kroenke is
Ah,
his name, and
Stan
he
Kroenke.
went to Mizzou. So there's that. So if you want to not be a Broncos fan, there's another reason, or not be a anything
Rams,
Colorado,
Avalanche.
Rams, whatever. There's reason.
Oh,
Although he
man,
did
that
go to
sucks.
Cole Camp High School, which is near and dear to my heart.
Why is
Drive
that?
through that on the Lake of the Ozarks every year.
Ah, nice.
The Dairy Bar, AJ's Dairy Bar in Cole Camp, Missouri.
You
if
know,
you've never been, you need to go get the double chocolate cherry malt.
this sucks for me because I have a Colorado Avalanche T-shirt.
Yeah, you can't support them.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
I
you
have
can't
to get rid
support
of it.
anything Mizzou.
Well, I lived in Colorado when the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, and so I was like, I mean, I watched those games, and I was like, oh, it's cool that I'm, in Colorado while they won. So I was like, I'll get a shirt. Why not? But I didn't know
You're a
Stan
big, you're a big
Kroenke.
supporter of all things professional sports in Colorado. I know that for sure.
Well, it was a fun thing. Like
Stock is down on umpires. Did you
Ooh.
see this, Dan? 3-1 Cubs beat the Padres, as you previously mentioned
Sure.
yesterday. Cubs onto the NLDS. And Big Bad Brad Keller, former Royal legend,
yeah,
actually was in this game in the ninth inning. He eventually got lifted because he wasn't pitching well. He's had a really good year, which is surprising because he was up and down at best for the Royals, but Cubs moved him into the late inning role, eventually the closer role, and he's been really good. 3-1, top of the ninth. Cubs led at Wrigley Field, 3 outs away from going to the NLDS. 3-2 pitch to Xander Bogaerts of the Padres, clearly misses low and away, but he gets rung up. He gets rung up, and stock is down on umpires because the next 2 batters for the Padres reached. So they had 2 on and 1 out, should have been 3 on or a run in for the Padres in a winner-take-all game, which there were 3 of yesterday. And the Padres eventually got out, didn't score, say what you will. But the umpires, their locker room, if you will, at Wrigley Field, you have to access through the visitors' dugout.
Oh,
so
yeah.
after the game,
I saw this video.
They have to walk down through the Padres dugout to get to their clubhouse, locker room, whatever it is. And they took some heat from the Padres players. It was a terrible call.
Hold me back.
Hold me back. Call.
Yeah.
I also hate the people who say things like, oh, you got to protect the zone with 2 strikes in that scenario. It's like, it's a ball. You can't swing at anything. That's clearly not a strike. So anyway, just to update everybody on the MLB playoffs, there were 3 winner-take-all games yesterday.
Okay.
Cubs advance, Yankees over Red Sox 4-0. This leads to another sports stock market for me. And the Tigers over the Guardians. So after all that, Guardians eventually won the AL Central. Those 2 teams matched up, Detroit and Cleveland, and Detroit won 2 out of 3. So the matchups beginning tomorrow, Cubs at Brewers, who are the 1 seed in the NL. Yankees at Blue Jays, who are the 1 seed in the AL. Couple divisional matchups there. Dodgers at Phillies, and then Detroit at Seattle. Those are the 4 series in Major League Baseball, the 4 divisional series before the ALCS and NLCS after those series come to a close, of course. But in regards to the Yankees, 4-0, like I said, over the Red Sox. Stock is up on rookies. Cam Schlittler. He, first of all, is a native of Massachusetts. I have to imagine he was a huge Red Sox fan.
You'd probably think,
Pitcher for the Yankees, 8 innings, 12 strikeouts, no runs. He is the first pitcher ever to do that in a winner-take-all game.
Rookie?
8 innings, 12 strikeouts, no runs. First pitcher ever. Again, I don't know for sure, but the dude grew up in the Boston area. Yankees ended up drafting him. That had to be a weird feeling for him, being a Red Sox fan. Probably growing up and eliminating them with the Yankees. But anyway, exciting stuff for MLB.
That's insane. By the way, one more note on the Padres-Cubs game. Do you see Manny Machado's post-game press conference? So a reporter, which I typically err on the, like, I always back the reporters just because, that's kind of the business that we're in. And we're
as long as it's nothing.
Right, yeah, like there was that like weird guy who like asked Caitlin Clark weird questions. Like I hated that guy, but like I'm usually on the side of the reporters. I'm on the side of the reporter in this one as well. He just asked Manny Machado basically. He's like, "Hey, how do you assess the season?" And Manny Machado like just went off on him. He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "We just lost. Like, how could you ask me that question?" He's like, "He just asked you to assess the season.
What questions did you expect to be asked?
Your season's over. Assess the season."
Right.
He didn't like bait him in anything. Like there was that was the question.
Right.
How do you assess the season? And Manny Machado just went, so stock's down on Manny Machado. Stock's up on Mimes. See this?
Oh, yeah, believe me, I saw it.
Stock's up on Mimes. Shedeur Sanders.
Wait. We actually are on air.
I know.
Shedeur Sanders pulled that move.
Yes, he did. I have the video pulled up, by the way. So Shedeur Sanders was asked about Dylan Gabriel getting the start for the Cleveland Browns, and this is what he had to say. Elijah, go ahead and play the audio.
Vocally, anything to say?
I guess one more. What do you think you have to show to the coaches just to have them have that belief in you that you can be ready?
What can you say?
How much has Joe been important to both you and Dylan in terms of your guys' like development to this point?
Man, y'all might as well.
So your headphones or your speakers were working just fine. Shador Sanders was miming to the reporters about, like, he was being asked about Dylan Gabriel, like, hey, what do you, and he just was not saying anything. One of the weirder,
it's weird. I'd never seen it before.
no, I saw a tweet about this because I saw a tweet. Somebody said, I hate how much Shador Sanders makes me sound like an old, angry white guy, because it's like, you cannot defend, like, that's just such a weird move. And look,
the other thing
I kind of get it, because it's like, oh, well, Shador gets a bad rep for talking too much, right? So then it was sort of his passive aggressive way of saying, I'm not going to say anything now.
Okay, that's what a 12-year-old does.
Absolutely, it's what a 12-year-old does.
That's what a 12-year-old does.
I'm not saying passive aggressiveness is good. I'm saying I kind of understand, like, what he was doing. I guess it was still so weird.
The other thing that's interesting to me, and I've never been in a professional football league,
really,
locker room or
you have the body for it.
MLB clubhouse or any of that, but the reality is, there are grown blank men also on your team in this clubhouse.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's somebody who's been in the league for 12, 14 years think when they see something like that of their teammate?
Maybe he's looking at a second career as a mime, and he was just testing it out.
So, and so many,
because it was good
was
mime
work.
It was really good.
Trying to not say something bad about Gabriel or the organization as a whole?
I think that might have been what it was.
He was obviously trying to be funny. Maybe like that's one of those things that maybe like one guy in the back is laughing and everybody else is like,
but everyone else is like,
it's like, oh,
that's weird.
Okay,
like, what are you doing?
Well, and that's the thing is realistically, and we know this. You only get so many minutes with these players as reporters, and you absolutely depend on those minutes for all your content. Tap into their mind, get to know what they're thinking. There are a lot of people who depended on Shador's words there to write a story,
right?
Talk about on the radio, or
if
do a pregame show.
If I'm the Andy Eiche of or the Daniel Burke or whoever of the Cleveland Browns, by the way, shout out to the law firm of Eiche and Burke, Burke and Eiche, Eiche and Burke, and Self, and Perel, all those guys.
Aebersold?
No, he's not there anymore. If I was the guy who set up the communications guy essentially for the Cleveland Browns, I'm not making Shador Sanders available to the media for the rest of the season. That was like weird enough. He didn't cross any lines. He wasn't like, cussing or saying anything insane. He didn't say anything at all. It was that weird. That's the point where you're like, I'm not going to make this guy available to the media for the rest of the season. Like, A, he's your third string quarterback. Why are you making him available to the media in the first place? And B, it's bad PR. Like, it's so crazy to me how you have Deshaun Watson as one of your quarterbacks, and Shador Sanders is like maybe more unlikable than him.
This is too long on Shador here.
I know.
I'm with you.
Whatever. Hey, stock's down on Xbox. Do you see this? This is kind of crazy. So Xbox noted gamer Elijah Schmidt actually filled me in on this. I have an Xbox One, but I never played. It's like collecting dust somewhere. So apparently Xbox, they had this thing called Game Pass Ultimate, where it was, I believe it was like $10 a month, and you were able to get first day access to any game that was, out, it downloaded immediately to your Xbox. You could play it right away at like midnight that night or whatever. Apparently Xbox doubled the price. Tripled the price. I think it was actually doubled. So it might have been like $15 a month.
Okay.
So they doubled the price of this Ultimate Game Pass subscription, and they took away the option for you to play those games on day one. The reason stock is down on Xbox is because A, that's bad. You shouldn't do this. What are you doing for like business-wise? You're shooting yourself in the foot. B, apparently the website to cancel the Xbox Game Pass overloaded because there were so many people canceling their Game Pass because of this.
Stand up.
I like
I'm proud
it.
of them.
Yes.
I'm proud of them. Hey, you know what?
Like power.
Didn't have an Xbox. I was a PlayStation guy. That being said, I am drinking a Mountain Dew right now.
Yeah.
So, my gamer days are a little bit behind me since
you got a little Cheeto or Dorito dust on your fingers too.
Dorito dust. Yeah. What are some other classic I mean, just pizza.
Yeah,
Pizza and game
pizza,
night. That's what it is. Yeah,
Mountain Dew, and yeah.
totally.
no,
Hey,
I
stocks
do.
down on Purdue. This is terrible, terrible news for Boilermaker football, which is not very good.
Nope.
But Purdue hosting number 22 Illinois tomorrow at 11, and it looks like they're going to lose.
Why?
Not just because they're bad at football, but Purdue is 0-10, Dan, in games that follow a Taylor Swift album
You're
release.
kidding.
So it's looking like an automatic loss for the Boilers. So they're going to be 0-11
Let me
now.
pull my DraftKings out right now.
after Taylor Swift album release. I got to know, has Piper pre-ordered it, or is she?
She has not listened. She's not. She likes Taylor Swift.
She loves
she's
her.
fine.
Loves her.
She's
Sounds
not
like she
the
loves
one.
her.
No, she didn't. She didn't
We all
like
love
wait
T
up
Swift,
at night
Piper.
waiting
You're not
for
alone.
it.
We all love T Swift.
I wanted to. Look. I maybe on the way home from Hy-Vee when I'm eating my $7 hot grab and go pizza and my chicken enchiladas with Spanish rice, I might throw it on in the car. Just listen to it. Listen to a little bit of it. I like her music. I'm not afraid to say it.
Well, Purdue
Shout
doesn't.
out to
They're going to be
Purdue.
0-11.
Yeah, apparently not. That's insane.
If they lose to Illinois, just remember
0-10?
it's not because they've
Wow.
got bad players.
Hey, stocks down on good things. This is something we are going to disagree on a lot. According to Yahoo Sports, Ross Dellinger, executives are, quote, inching closer to an agreement to expand the NCAA tournament to 76 teams with a 12-game opening round played at 2 sites during the 2026-2027 season.
So what you mean is stocks up on fun.
Stock
more
is
games,
up.
more
No.
fun.
Stock is down on good things because we can't have good things.
Bring on the games.
Keep it the way it is, damn it. Get rid of the first 4. Make it 64 again. Do you want K-State in the NCAA tournament?
I don't have to worry about that with
don't.
only 76. I don't have to worry about that.
They could. You're going to get
12-game opening round.
Why do you want the 7th best Big Ten school in the NCAA tournament? It doesn't make sense.
That's actually not. I mean, Big Ten has 18 teams, so the 7th best team is
the
probably going to be in.
best
That's
Big
closer.
Ten school. No, it's absolutely
Hey, don't act like
ridiculous.
you won't watch Rutgers against Ohio Bobcats.
No, of course I won't. Because
yes, you will, because the NCAA tournament loves us. Yes, you will.
I know
yes,
I
you will.
I know I
yes,
will.
You will.
I hate this. I hate that we.
I'm excited, man. That is so.
Whatever.
That gets me jacked. 76 game NCAA tournament. Let's go.
It's horrible. Last one here. Stocks down on the Panthers. This is just sad. So apparently, Meow Mix, the popular Panthers podcast that was started in 2019, is shutting down indefinitely due to the team's poor performance.
That is so sad.
Apparently, on the podcast, they announced that they can no longer justify the time spent away from their wives and children on Sundays. They are literally finding new hobbies because the Carolina Panthers are that bad.
Hey, Panthers this weekend, are they going to get it done?
I
talked
no.
about this earlier. That's actually sad. Meow Mix is a great name of a podcast too.
Great name of a podcast. Shout out to those guys, man. They're like, hey, look, we can't keep doing this to ourselves. Like, this is our job. Like, I'm gonna go back to college, get my degree, do something. I gotta spend time with my wife and my kids because the Carolina Panthers are so bad. Shout out to those guys, man.
It takes a lot for me to turn off the TV when my team is playing, but we've all been there at least once in our life where it's like, I can't watch this. It just makes me too
100%.
angry.
I mean, it's our job to do it.
Thankfully,
there's been
never
times where I've wanted to.
Oh God, man, yeah. So rough time to be a Panthers fan. Hey, that's our sports stock market for today. After this, we're going to go back to KU football. We heard from KU offensive lineman Enrique Cruz a little bit earlier this week. We're going to have that for you right after this on Rock Chalk Sports live at Hy-Vee. Thanks for watching on KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Cole Ballard, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Welcome back to Hy-Vee here. Clinton and Castle. Rock Chalk Sports rolls on today. KU and UCF tomorrow at 6:30, so just shy of 24 hours from kickoff. Important one for the Jayhawks and the Knights. The Bounce House. I know the guys are excited to get down there. You can hear coverage starting at 5 o'clock on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, Dan, time to hear from Enrique Cruz. He's kind of taken the reins at that right tackle spot. Yeah. We don't talk about it a lot. I said this a little bit earlier in the show, but you lose both your tackles. That's a big deal, especially when you return a quarterback. And both Cabledew and Brown move on to the professional ranks, and obviously Calvin Clements has slid into the left tackle. But winning the battle with Nolan Gorsica to this point is Enrique Cruz. He seems to be gelling.
And he's been doing a great job, right? He's only given up a couple of pressures on Jalen, which, like, you can give up pressures on Jalen all day, and you still feel confident because he's able to utilize his legs that much. But yeah, Enrique Cruz has really kind of come into his own and really been able to step up. And he talks about, being able to come into a new environment and kind of get acclimated, as well as learning the new offense and everything. So it's really great to hear from Enrique Cruz, and he's going to be continuing on that upward trajectory.
For sure. Yeah, excited. Here's Enrique Cruz a little bit earlier this week talking to the media.
How would you say this season's gone for you so far in terms of settling into your role and getting improvement over the course of the year?
I feel like settling into my role and just like getting to know the offense and team, but I feel like it's going very smoothly. Yeah, I feel like it's going good.
How do you feel like that's helped your play? You start to understand things more. Have you
seen
it translate?
I see it translate big time. I just feel like on a confidence level, I just feel like, the confidence of knowing what I'm doing and just knowing the ins and outs just really helped me out big time.
You've allowed more pressure so far this year. What's allowed you to have so much success in pass pro?
I just feel like, the work that I put in with Coach A. Coach A, he really emphasizes the tackles, pass sets, and everything like that. So I just feel like his confidence he put in me, and also just the work that he's put into all of us.
Where do you think you've improved the most in that regard since you got to campus over the summer?
I just feel like I improved the most really in my hands, and just the mental game. I just feel like the majority of pass pro is just the confidence and just doing it. So I just feel like just the confidence in my ability.
Enrique, you had 2 one-play drives thanks to JD and Emmanuel last week.
Yeah, man, those are the best drives.
I was gonna ask, what does that do for you guys?
Well, I mean, it just that just puts a lot of confidence that our offense we're able to just compete with the best of them. You know what I mean? So just having 2 one-play drives is like, not only set the best kind of drive, but it just it just puts a lot of confidence that like we got this. You know what I mean? Like we can go toe to toe with the best of them.
Extra rest too, obviously, right?
Extra water, go on the sideline, talk a little bit, watch the defense, hype up the defense. It's a lot of good stuff.
How would you describe this week of practice so far?
This week of practice, I mean, it's been intense. It's been very intense. I know this weather, man. It's one thing about Canada. I never knew this weather would be this crazy. I was like, they say Midwest. I'm from Chicago. I'm from the Midwest. So I'm like, okay, cool weather. Nah, man. So I mean, you got the intensity on top of the weather. It's been some good practices, some real fun.
Your run game has been improving quite a bit ever since the Missouri game. Just what's been the point of emphasis since the Missouri game to this point?
I just feel like the point of emphasis is really just understanding the runs and understanding going against different defenses what my job is. I just feel like just putting more detail in my performance has really been the biggest part.
Road night games, what are the biggest keys for you guys as an offense in an environment like that?
Really just be ourselves, honestly. You know what I mean? We practice hard. We have great coaches and put us in great positions, and we've been practicing hard. So it's really just going there and just being ourselves.
What's it like for those? I know you haven't done it at Kansas yet, but for a road night game traditionally, what's it like when you wake up, you got plenty of time for the game?
What I do is I sleep. I don't even. We practice, we prepare so hard. I don't even want to get in my mind to get all anxious. I just sleep the whole time, so I know I'm perfectly rested for the game.
Hey, what's it like for you guys when the backup quarterbacks come in and make big runs like they did in that last game?
Man, I love seeing everybody go out there and ball. I see every day in practice. I know what they're capable of, so it just makes me happy watching them go out there and get their sign.
Isaiah was close, huh?
I was right there. He needed it. I wanted him to get it too. He was right there. Cole was close too.
How do you feel you guys are gelling as an offensive line unit at this point?
I feel like we're gelling very well together. I feel like the synergy and the chemistry is coming along.
Anything stand out about UCF?
I mean, I feel like they have a very, very good team. They're a very good squad, so just go out there and play.
That's KU tackle Enrique Cruz speaking to the media a little bit earlier this week. Couple other notes from around KU, Dan. KU men's basketball GA tickets on sale today. Do you want to revisit the Rothstein 45 where Kansas is? Because that was an ugly.
By the way, you see
ugly
Miami's
scene.
at 31.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to put Miami over.
Unbelievable.
Everybody on Twitter was pretty much
John
echoing
Rothstein
our
is.
sentiment.
I told you he's slouching into a clickbait guy.
I love him. I love him for his love of the game, but it's got to be one of the worst takes
I
he's
have
had.
been a Rothstein truther for like 15 years, and it's just recently where he's kind of it feels a little clickbaity to me. You know what I mean?
I knew that the men's basketball team was going to be ranked much lower. We've talked about this a ton of times.
32?
32 is ridiculous. Again, you have
insane.
a Hall of Fame coach. I don't care what your roster looks like. You're in the top 25. It really doesn't matter. And then you've got maybe the best player in college basketball coming in. I just don't
Rutgers
understand.
had 2 lottery picks last year, and they didn't make the tournament.
I mean,
but they don't have Bill Self.
No disrespect to Steve Peichel, but yeah.
No,
it's not
disrespect.
Bill Self.
Disrespect.
Yeah, I don't know.
Given.
We'll see how it goes, but we're not going to relive that. Point is, team's going to be very good this year. So men's basketball GA tickets are on sale today. Of course, late night, 2 weeks from today, we're going to have all sorts of coverage on KansasNation.com. Follow us on your socials as well at the Kansas Nation. KU soccer, shout out to them last night. They packed the park. Not an attendance record, but first time in a long time, and second most ever, over 2,400 fans last night to watch the Jayhawks take down the Cats.
Yes, KU, they're now 8-2-2 on the season, 2-2 and 2-2-0 in Big 12 conference play. K-State, they're 5-4-2 on the year. It's just a good palate cleanse, right? 4-1 in the Dillon Sunflower Showdown. By the way, I like to. Flaherty said we should just lean into the Sunflower War instead. We'll keep the Border Showdown, but then make the Sunflower War. I think that's a good idea.
It's a good idea, but it's not. The hatred is not there.
No,
right?
I know.
mean, they hate us, I guess, but
right,
not
yeah,
for anything
absolutely.
historical.
But no, this Kansas soccer team, I think that was just like a weird kind of one-off thing with the Baylor game, dropping that one 3-0, and they went on that weird 2-game losing streak. But I think they're back. I think, like I said, this is a good palate cleanse for them.
KU volleyball had a player named to the AVCA Player of the Year watch list. Reese Patak, a middle blocker, just a sophomore, was named to that watch list. One of 17 midseason additions, which now includes 47 players representing 31 schools. Patak is one of the Big 12's most dominant frontline players. She has the lead at Kansas with 72 total blocks on the season. KU nationally second defensively, 171.5, and has helped the team to hold opponents to just a 27.6 hitting percentage. So Reese Patak, again, just her second year in Lawrence. Offensively, she's hitting .312 on the season, 162 kills. The AVCA Player of the Year process includes a preseason, midseason, and then a semifinalist will come out in November, finalists in December. Awards going to be announced at the AVCA Awards Banquet December 19th, which is in Kansas City. So good luck to KU volleyball. They are back at it tonight. Got to get this one right. I mean, they've taken 7 losses. 5 of them have been in 5 sets. They've all been to top 25 teams. KU still in the top 25, and they'll remain in the top 25 if they knock off Baylor tonight. Another top 15 battle, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it is a testament to the AVCA for keeping the Jayhawks ranked, because they understand that all of these losses have been to top 15 teams, right? But Kansas, you got to get to a point where it's like, hey, well, you got to start winning games against these teams, or else you're going to eventually fall out, and you're going to be losing momentum. I still like the fact that they're going to be using 2 setters in Ryan White and Kristen Klein. I think they've got it figured out as of right now, but you absolutely got to win this weekend.
Looking forward to it. KU and Baylor tonight. Packed weekend for KU athletics. After that, some college football game picks. Plus, we're going to give a Hawk to Rock. We haven't done this yet, but we're each going to pick
segment alert.
KU football player that we think is due for a big game. Of course, KU and UCF tomorrow in Orlando. You're watching Rock Chalk Sports live at Hy-Vee. Thanks for watching KansasNation.com.
This is Daniel Hy-Vee, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Sean Kellerman and Dan Courtwright back live at Hy-Vee, Clinton and Castled. Be here until 6 o'clock previewing KU and UCF. Right now, though, we are going to dive into some college football game picks, Big 12 and top 25, and then we're going to close out with a Hawk to Rock. I hope you got somebody in your mind.
I got somebody.
I kind of just dropped that on you about 20 minutes ago. But,
yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's go through some game picks. I saw on Twitter a little bit earlier this week a Vanderbilt fan posted the screenshot or whatever you want to call it of the Vandy helmet and the Alabama helmet for College Game Day, and the Vanderbilt helmet essentially said, or the Vanderbilt fan essentially said, "I never thought this day would come." I mean, or I would have thought this is a fake image,
Right? Yeah,
because
yeah.
this is actually happening.
Vanderbilt and
football.
Alabama College Game Day.
So
what?
that's happening.
That's insane.
Number 16 Vanderbilt at number 10 Alabama. Vandy 11.5-point underdogs. Over under is 56.5.
So Vandy clipped him last year, right?
Yeah.
I think Kalen DeBoer, as of right now, he probably feels like he's fighting for his job. So I think Alabama goes out there and they just beat the brakes off of Vanderbilt. Is it recency bias? Because Alabama's been so good and Vanderbilt could potentially be on fraud watch, maybe. Diego Pavia is the real deal. I think Alabama, they're going to be worked up for this one just because of the fact that they have a chip on their shoulder from last year. Give me Bama minus 11.5. I like the over in this game, 56.5.
The flip side of that, Bama just had an emotional win.
True.
Against Georgia.
Very true.
Rivalry game. So will they have a letdown? Probably not, because they lost to Vandy last year, but have to wait and see. Number 9, Texas, minus 5.5 at Florida. Gators have been kind of a mess. Over under is 42.5.
This is going to be a weird game. I still hate that I'm in on DJ Lagway. I shouldn't be.
He's a top 70 quarterback.
Yeah, top 70 quarterback is a good way to put it. Man, give me Texas minus 5.5. I mean, that's just I understand it's in the swamp, but I still like Texas. Arch Manning has not looked to his potential, I guess, his ceiling.
Another big time game this week. Number 3, Miami minus 4.5 at number 18, Florida State. FSU lost to Virginia and Charlottesville last week. Over under is 53.5.
Yeah, I think Florida State. I think they could potentially be kind of on a downward spiral. I think I still like Tommy Castellanos, deep drive to left, but look, Carson Beck's the real deal. Give me Miami minus 4.5.
Big 12, there's a couple big lines because there's some bad teams in the Big 12 Conference. West Virginia at BYU. This game is tonight, Dan, and the Mountaineers, with a lot of questions, they're getting 20.5 against the number 23 ranked Cougars.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a big line, but also, I mean,
you saw West Virginia in the flesh.
I saw them. They're not a good football team. Give me BYU. BYU minus 20.5. I mean, that's not. The line is so big, but it's like I can see this. I can see a world where it's a 3, even 4 touchdown game for BYU. Over 46.5. I think BYU probably scores around 46 on their own.
Pick your quarterback room: West Virginia or the Cleveland Browns. I mean, you have all sorts of options.
Pass.
Number 14, Iowa State. They have been a wagon so far. Really impressive this season. They're plus 1.5 at Cincinnati. You know I'm high on Cincinnati, and of course they were impressive here last week. Over under 55.5.
You're high on Cincinnati in
no
all sports. Yeah, you love Dan Skilling.
I'm starting to get the Bearcat feel.
Right. Yeah, you got Skyline chili coursing through your veins. Iowa State's the real deal. And look, we saw Cincinnati last week. They're really good. Their offensive line's fantastic. Sorsby, again, is the real deal. I think Iowa State, they're just playing their best football right now. I like Iowa State here.
K-State, your boys, minus 5.5 at Baylor. Over under is 60.5.
My boys? They've never been my boys.
You're low on K-State. They're 2-3, but they are favored on the road.
So it's in Waco. I think that K-State, they're still in a free fall. I don't think that UCF game changed anything. Give me Baylor money line here.
Sawyer Robertson's been one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Great.
So, yeah, Baylor home dogs, a little bit surprising to see that.
Also, I think they're going to be able to run the ball on K-State, too.
Oklahoma State, also a bit of a train wreck right now. They're getting 20.5 in the desert at Arizona, over under 55.5.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, to me, they're the New Orleans Saints of college football in terms of I will always fade them. Now, they have 2 former Kansas coordinators at the helm with Doug Meacham, KU legend, former offensive coordinator, and Clint Bowen as well. I like Clint Bowen. I think he's a damn good coach. Give me the under in this game, 55.5. I think Clint Bowen gets that defense rolling, but I still think Oklahoma State does not cover against Arizona. This is going to be a gross game. Arizona does not look good, by the way.
2 chesty Lions legends in Clint Bowen and Banks Bowen. Oklahoma State. Number 11, Texas Tech is minus 12.5 at an upstart Houston program. Over under 51.5.
Texas Tech, again, they're in the same boat as Iowa State. They're playing their best football right now. I know it's at Houston. Minus 12.5 just feels too good for me.
Colorado feels
like
Have I
gone all? No, I haven't. Never mind. I was going to say, I think I've gone all favorites.
You like Baylor
I like Baylor money line, yeah.
Colorado feels like the 3rd worst team in the conference, don't they? They're getting 13.5 at TCU, over under 57.5. TCU was up 17-0 on ASU and lost last week.
Right. I think TCU, again, they're going to kind of have a chip on their shoulder as well. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think that Colorado's defense is bad, but I think Colorado's offense could put up some numbers against TCU. I like the over 57.5 here. I think this is going to get into the 60s. I don't really want to touch the line.
You don't have to. It's okay.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
There's no rules to this thing.
This takes us to the rules.
We make this up. There's no
rules
rules to
lose,
this. Yeah, that's true.
In doing this kind of thing. It
Over.
takes us
Give me the over. I don't want to touch the line.
to Disney World. KU is -4 at UCF. Over under 54.5.
KU wins. KU covers. The Dan Courtwright special.
Dan Courtwright. Hey, you didn't have that against West Virginia, and
Nope.
KU won by 31.
Correct.
So maybe you need to flip things around.
That's true.
You know what? Go with your gut.
Go with my
with
gut.
that. All right. Well, let's talk about a Hawk to Rock tomorrow, 6:30.
Oh,
KU and UCF. Who are
Yes.
you going with, Dan, and why?
Hawk to Rock. I think Le'Shawn Williams is going to have an excellent game. I understand that obviously Daniel Highshaw is going to be out. I think that Kansas is really starting to figure out the run game, but I think Le'Shawn Williams is going to have a fun kind of role if they do utilize